Hello and welcome back. In this video, we guys will be integrating our Flutter application with the REST API that we have built so far. If you have seen my previous tutorial, we have built a CRUD application with the help of Express, Mongoose and Node.js, and the following application is deployed over Heroku, and we have got a URL of our Heroku which is shown here. And from this side, if I simply send a GET request to my Heroku after hitting send, I am getting the following data back, that is the title and a description of our to-do list. So in this video, let's integrate the following REST API with our Flutter application. So for that purpose, we shall be moving back under our project folder, and here let's create a new folder known as client. Easy. Let's open our terminal and let's cd into it of cd client. Just like this, and onto this I will be creating a new Flutter project. So let's have Flutter create to-do app, press enter. Alright, our application is created. Let's go into it under to do, under library, and we are getting our main.dart file after a long time. Let's do one thing, let's clear off our entire boilerplate code from here, just like this. And here I will be creating a new stateless widget of my app, just like this. And instead of container, it should be returning a material app. Under our material app, we should be having a debug check mode banner false, just like this. And also we should be having a new theme. So under theme, you should be writing theme data dot a dark one, why not? And also we should be having a new home to our material app. So for having a home, let's create a new proper project structure. So first of all, we should be having all of our views, and after our views, we should be also having all of our providers, cause we are using provider as our main state management here. So once we have added this, let's move under our views and create a new view under home view dot dart, just like this. And here let's create a new stateful widget known as home view itself, and instead of a container, it should be returning a new scaffold. So let's add a scaffold here, why not? Once we have done this, let's go back, and here we should be having a home to be our home view. The next thing we should be doing is go under our puff.yaml file and get all the proper dependencies. So press Ctrl Shift and P to bring up the command palette, and onto this, under our puffpeg assist, I should be writing here a dependency of HTTP, and also one more dependency for our provider, why not? So now the first thing that we need to do is create a new provider for our entire views, that is our to-do provider, cause we are building a to-do list with it. So here let's have a new file of to-do provider.dart, just like this. So here first of all, I will be having a new class of to-do provider, and the following class shall be extending with change notifier. So here let's have a new change notifier, and onto our to-do provider, first of all we should be having our HTTP client. So for that purpose, we should be importing our HTTP library as HTTP itself, just like this. And here I should be having a new final HTTP client should be equal to HTTP dot client, just like this. Cool. So once we have done this, the next thing we gotta do is create a new future method for getting all the data. So for that purpose, we should be writing here a get request for our own sake. So here I will be having a new future method of fetch data. The following method will be asynchronous. So let's denote this method to be asynchronous. So under this method, first of all, we need the URL from which we are fetching all of our data. So for that purpose, I should be having a new URI, let's say, and this should be equal to URI dot parse, just like this. And under this we need to paste our entire URL. So we can be moving under our postman and copy the following URL from here and paste it under this, just like this. And once we have done this, the next thing we gotta do is simply fetch all the data. And once we have got our URL, we need a response from our URL. So here let's have a new response, that is HTTP response to be a response, and the following response should be equal to HTTP client dot get. And under this, first of all, we should be having all of our URL. So I will be copying the following URL from here and paste it here. But you know what, we need to simply await for the response. So you should be writing here await, just like this. And here if you observe, the following response shall be under a type of response which will be a body. So here if I simply type response dot, I will be getting all of options available which will be a body. So what I will be doing is creating a new mapping between our response on JSON. So here let's have final map to be parse data, because we are parsing our data. Now the following parse data shall be simply equal to await, that is under await state for JSON. Let's import the following JSON from .convert, and here I should be having JSON decode, and under a source I should be having my response. So here let's have response dot body dot toString, and once we have done this, the following parse data shall be consisting all of our response. Now if I go back under my Postman, here you can see we are getting all of our response under a key of data. So for fetching the proper data, we should be going back, and here we should be having a new list of data. So here what I will be doing is create a new list which will be under a dynamic form, and this thing shall be equal to to-do data, just like this, our name of the list. And now I can simply say the following to-do data should be equal to parse data. Let's have the parse data, and from the parse data I will be fetching my data from my HTTP response. And once we have done this, what we can really do is print the following to-do data for our own sake. So let's print our to-do data, and now we are good to go. So this will be our complete GET request for fetching data from our server. Now remember one thing, we don't have any parse token or JSON web token for now. So we are free to use the following method cause we are using a free API. So I will be copying the following method from here, and I will be going under our home view, and under our home view, under our scaffold, first of all let's have a new app bar to be a new app bar. So under my case of app bar, first of all let's have a new title to be text, and under let's have a text to be to do. Let's have central title to be true, why not? And after having our following cute looking app bar, let's have a new body. So under body I will be having a new container, and under our container let's have a child to be a new consumer for our provider. So here let's have a new consumer, and this shall be requiring a type. So here let's have to do provider, and under our consumer it will be having a new builder. So under builder let's provide our context, a model of our provider, and also an empty value, and this thing shall be throwing up a new future builder. So here let's have a new future builder cause we are receiving all of our data under a case of future. So here under our future builder, first of all let's have a new future. So for getting that future I should be writing model dot fetch data, just like this, and under my case of builder I will be having a new context. Alright, not a constant but a context. So here let's have a new context and also a new snapshot, and the following thing shall be referring to a new list view builder. So under our list view builder, first of all let's have a new item count under a case of model dot to do data dot length, just like this, and under our item builder it should be having a new context, that is a build context, and also an integer which will be an index, just like this. And under this we should be returning a new list style for showing up our entire data. And under our list style, first of all I should be having a new title to be a new text, and under our text we should be fetching all of our data from our REST API. So for that purpose what we can really write here is model dot to do data, and from this to do data we should be having a new index, and from this we will be fetching up an entity. And if I go under my Postman, just right here, you may observe that we have two different entities of title and description. So let's fetch up our title under a case of title for our list view. So once we have our title, let's copy the following piece of line, paste it here, but here we should be having a new thing of subtitle, and here we should be having a description of our to-do list. So once we have added the following piece of line, we should be also having our initState method. So here under initState method, let's remove the following comment, and here I should be having a new provider dot of the following context, and here it should be having a to do provider, and under this it should be having listen property to false, and from this we should be initializing our fetch data method, just like this. And once we have constructed everything, let's go under our main method, and here instead of a material app we should be returning a multi-provider. First of all let's have a new child to our multi-provider, and under our providers, as we have only one provider, it is safe to provide a provider here, just like this. And under a create it will be taking an empty value and throwing up our to do provider. So here let's have to do provider, easy peasy. So once we have constructed everything, before moving forward let's try it out. So for trying it out, let me open my emulator and press F5 to read our entire application 1. So let's press F5.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, so our application is reloaded, and you can see we are getting our only single to do, which is coding and some different data. So now in this way you can successfully perform the operation of get request under our to do. So now what I will be doing is go under my Postman, and if I simply post some new data, So here let's add some post data, and if you remember we have our path to be add. Let's move under body, and here let's go under raw, and under raw let's go under JSON, and here let's paste some title and description just like this. Press enter. Alright, not enter but simply press send. Cool, so now you can see we are successfully sent the following data to our entire MongoDB database, that is Mongo database. So now if I go back, alright, let's go under application, and if I press Ctrl and S to hot reload it, let's go back under our application. Now you can see we are getting two different data here just like this. Now let's do one thing, add some more data into it, and let's go here. Cool, the data is sent under our MongoDB database, that is Mongo database. I don't know why I'm saying Mongo database. So now let's go back and hot reload it once, cause it is the future. Cool, so we are getting three different data. But you know what, instead of manually sending all of our data from our postman under our application, let's create a new post request just like this. So here let's have a new post request, and for performing post request, as usual we need to have a new future method. So here let's have a new add data, which will our new method. It is going to be asynchronous, so let's make this asynchronous. So under our entire thing, what we can really do is copy our URL from here, but here it should be having a new different URL of add just like this. So after having the following REST API URL, if we should be having a new HTTP response. So here let's have HTTP response should be equal to under await state, and here it should be equal to HTTP client. So here let's have HTTP client dot put, that is not put but post one, and under this it should be having a new REST API URL just like this. Alright, let's have a new response here. Why not? Let's say response should be equal to await this thing. But if you hover over post one, we should be also requiring some different headers. So if I hover over it, you should be requiring some different headers and also a different encoding. So first of all, we can go at the top of our method, and here we should be having a new map and a mapping between a string and a dynamic. So here let's have mapping between string and dynamic. So here let's have a new thing to it called as custom headers, and under a custom headers we need to provide some values. So under a custom headers, first of all let's provide a new value of accept. So here let's have provide a accept value, and under this it should be accepting all the JSON data. So here let's have accept application/JSON, and after it should be having a content type. Alright, not a capital one but a content, and under a content type it should be having a new application/JSON, but the application of /JSON shall be requiring a character set. So here let's have character set to be equal to UTF of 8 just like this. Format document first. So here we should be copying our custom headers from this side and paste under this, but here let's have a property of headers to be headers just like this. But under a post request we also require a new body. So here let's have a new body, and we need to provide our body through the following arguments. So here let's have provide a map to be a body. So I can copy the following body here, but here I should be writing JSON.encode, and under our encode I should be pasting my following body just like this. But what you can also do is remove the following piece of line from here and add a JSON encode property which is default. So here let's have JSON encode for my following body, format document first, and now we are good to go. So once we have got our entire response, which will be equal to the HTTP client.post for the following URL having a custom headers and also a body, we can go at the bottom, and here we should be simply adding a new method for parsing all of our data. So here I should be simply returning a new response. So here let's have response dot body just like this under return statement, format document first, and now let's try it out. But before trying it out, if we observe our to-do list, we should be having a new screen, that is a new button for simply posting all of our data. So for that purpose, let's go under our home page, and here under our scaffold let's have a new floating action button to be a floating action button. And under our floating action button, first of all let's have a property of on pressed, and also it should be requiring a new child. Okay, just like this, and also we need to provide here an icon button. Alright, not an icon, let's say icons. Cool, so once we have done everything from here, let's construct a new method for on press over our following button. So here on press, what I will be doing is creating a new bottom sheet for simply posting all of our data. So let's go under our views and create a new file, and here we should be having a new bottom sheet for adding data. So here let's have add data widget You can give it any sort of name according to you. So under our add data widget, first of all it should be requiring a build context. So here let's provide a build context to be a new context. So once we have provided our build context, let's have a new return statement. So under return statement, alright, we don't need our update. Sorry, we just video code. So here let's have show model bottom sheet, and under our builder let's have a new context to it. Just like this, and here under our builder it should be returning us a new container. So here let's have a new container, and under our container first of all let's have some dimensions which will be definite dimensions. So here let's have a child to it. So under our child it should be having a new column, and under our column let's have all the children. So we should be requiring a new text field. So here let's have a new text field. So here let's have a new text field as a main, as one of our child. So here let's have a text field. It should be requiring a new controller. So for having that controller we can go at the top, and here let's have a final should be equal to a text editing controller, just like this. And also we should be having a new final description controller. So here let's have a description controller should be equal to new text editing controller. Cool. So once we have got our both of the controllers, we can go under this file, and first of all let's have our title controller to be the controller of our first text field. Also let's have some decoration to it. So after having the following controller, let's have some decoration to be an input decoration, just like this. And under input decoration, first of all let's have hint text to be add title, just like this. So let's copy the following text field from here and paste it one more time, but here it should be having a new description controller, just like this. And also let's have a property of add description, and once we have done this, let's have a new button which will be elevated button. So here let's have elevated button, and on pressing over it we should be simply adding a property of sending all of our data to our REST server. But before that let's have a new child to be a text. Under text let's have the text of submit, just like this, and on pressing over it we should be able to send all of our data to our REST server, that is REST API. So here let's have a provider, that is on pressing over it provider.off, and under a context of to do provider, here let's have a new listen property. Alright, listen property to be false, and here let's have the property of add data. Now under add data it should be requiring a new body which will be a map. But before that so under a map we shall be having a new mapping between our entire controllers. So first of all let's have a new title that we need to submit, and the title should be equal to title controller dot text, easy. And also we should be having a new description, and you know what, the description shall be description controller dot text, just like this. So now what we can really do is copy the following piece of line from here. Let's remove it off and add a new condition under our on press button. So here let's go under our on press button, and here right, so here I can simply say if title controller dot text dot is empty dot is not empty, we should be executing the following piece of code, which is that simply providing all of our data, just like this. So now we are good to go, cause we are now I have added the following condition cause I have added the following condition cause we have a title controller that should not be empty. If you remember our schema, that if I go under my REST API side, and here if I go under my source, under models, under user model, here you can see we have our title to be required, which is a true one. Here you can see we have our title to be required, which is a true one, and we can have description to be empty but not our title. So once we have done this, press enter, and now we are good to go. So let's copy our following add data widget, and let's go under our home view, and here on pressing over it let's call the following widget. Let's paste on here, and here we should need to provide a context. Let's import our method from the following file, format document first, and now let's check our application. Cool. So now here we have got the following button of plus, so let's place it over it. Cool, so we are getting our following little form of add title and add description. Now feel free to decorate all of your to-do list according to you. Our following project is focused over backend, not on front end, so we should be keeping our UI minimal as possible. So once we have got our everything, let's try to filling a title and a description. And also we should be having our new description. So now let's try submitting it out. So after pressing over submit, let's check our debug console if everything is happening right or wrong. Also if I go at top, alright, so we are getting an error that unhandled exception, no worries. So for this purpose, let's go back. Alright, let's go back under our add to do, and here we should be having a new body. So for having this body, let's go back, and here under our map, we should be having a different body. But here let's have a new map of string, why not? And also here let's have a defined body of a string and a string. Let's try it out one more time. So let's close off our entire thing. Let's open it one more time. And here if I press submit, and if I go under my debug console, alright, first of all let's check our postman whether we are getting all of our data. So here let's add a get request. Let's remove it off and press send. Alright, so let's try reloading our entire application once. So let's try sending it out. Let's open our debug console if everything is going right or wrong. Press submit. Okay, let's try a different one. Let's try of a eating one, because we already have a to do of eating, that is singing. Press submit. And now let's check our entire postman and simply send a get request. Cool, so now you can see we are getting a different post request from here, because we are getting our singing and eating, because we have added two different singings just like this. So now let's try it out one more time. So instead of eating, let's have a different one, let's say programming. And if I go back under my postman, let's press send. I should be getting a new to do of programming just like this. So once we have done this, let's go back here. And if I simply hot reload my entire application once and open our entire application once, you can see we are now successfully added all of our data under this. But you know what, we are getting our singing multiple times, so we need to delete them out. But you know what, the following tutorial has gone quite long, so we shall be carrying out our operation of deleting singing and also updating all of our data in the next tutorial. I know you are kinda excited for this tutorial, and I have not cut out anything cause I have solved all of our errors in front of your eyes. I could have done this thing that I simply cut out the entire video and make the following changes under my code, but I don't like that thing. I love showing you all guys the real problem that any real developer faces. So with that said, I will see you in the next one where we shall be implementing deleting and updating functionality under our REST API with MongoDB, Flutter, Express and Node.js. Yeah, Node.js. Till then, if you have loved this tutorial, please hit that like button. It will be awesome. Also, I will see you in the next one with another great video. Goodbye.